there we go. Oh, didn't even get the other lure back in. There we go. Well, without doubt, one of my favourite species to chase is Tailor. You get them around a big part of the country, from Shark Bay over in Western Australia, all the way down the coast, and then all the way through Victoria, and you get them all up into, you know, Queensland, Fraser Island, places like that. In the estuaries, they're often smaller fish. In the ocean headlands, they're often really big fish, but you do find big fish in the estuaries. And today, for something a little bit different, I'm just going to have a bit of a troll. I love trolling, and it's a really good way to find yourself some Tailor. It is awesome fun for you and the kids too, because it's just so easy. You get out there at Christmas time or in the holidays, whenever, chuck a couple of lures out and just go pottering around these estuary systems wherever you may be, and you can have a whole lot of fun on a fish that pulls pretty hard and looks absolutely sensational. Now, when it comes to gear to use, you can use whatever you want. If you're chasing big Tailor, you're going to need heavier tackle. I'm using my 2 flathead spinning outfits, 1 bait caster, 1 spin. They're about a 4 to 6 kilo spin stick. And the reason I'm using slightly heavier rods is because Tailor, as the name says, they bite the tails off their bait fish. But if something's small enough, they just swallow it in one go, so they'll bite you off. And rather than running a wire trace, what I like to do is run a slightly bigger lure. You'll find that with something like, say, this Flash Boost from Shimano, it's just a really nice bait fish size. It's like a pilchard or a mullet or something, and Tailor loves stuff this size. This is a shallow running lure. It's got that tiny little bib there, okay? And then the other one I like is your good old X-Rap. That's the X-Rap 10. It's got the bigger bib, as the name says, 10. That means it's going to dive 10 feet. There's a heap of other options you can go with, but personally, try and stick to that slightly longer size lure. You won't get bitten off, and you'll find most of your hookups will be on this back hook here. As for colours, as I always say, if I'm running 2 lures or 2 of us are fishing and we're casting, no point both throwing the same stuff while you're working out what the fish are eating. So what I like to do is mix it up, and in many cases I'll go a natural sort of colour on one rod, and I'll go a bright colour on another rod. The other one I'm going to do today, I'm going to start out with a shallow running lure on one rod, and I'm going to put a deep diver on the other, and we're just going to work our way along some banks in about sort of 6 to 8 metres of water, and just troll our way along, hopefully get around a few points. And wherever there's a few points, that's generally where you'll find a few Tailor. The other tip, always keep a lookout for birds, even in an estuary system, because the terns and the seagulls will get straight onto the Tailor if they ball some bait up and start pushing it to the surface, and that can happen out in the open. So always keep your eyes peeled, watch your sounder, kick back and enjoy some fun. Let's go find some Tailor. We've got multicoloured braid here, changes colour every 10 metres. So I'm going to put this guy back about 20 metres. You can either lower it back like so, or because I'm in a rush, I'm going to flip that out into the yellow, the white, there we go. That should be good enough. Now, the other tip, you want a bit of drag. We've got to set those hooks, so don't have the drag too light, don't have it too heavy. We're working on the theory that as the Tailor grabs that lure, the rod's going to bend over, the drag pressure is going to set the hooks, and we'll have him on. The other bonus to running 2 different depth diving lures is that if I run this X-Rap 10 in a little bit shorter than that Flash Boost minnow there, it doesn't matter how sharp we turn, that the deep dive will always pass under the shallow running lure. The one thing you don't want to do is put your deep diver further back than what your shallow runner is, because as you turn, the deep diving line will collect that one and you'll have yourself an Albie Tangles. The other one you'll notice is that I've got these rods sitting at a low angle, just spread a little bit to the side. You get a far better hook up that way because it's more drag pressure that sets the hook. The rod doesn't have to bend as far before the drag kicks in. When the rods are up like this, they bend a long way before you actually get a proper hook set. It's fine on a big fish that's crashing a lure, but we've got smaller fish, you know, we want to just get that really direct hook up. And for trout and species like that, running your rods flatter like this makes the world of difference. Oh, there we go. Oh. Didn't even get the other lure back in. There we go. That easy. And that's on that shallow runner. But again, we'll just keep that rod low because you just never know. Sometimes they will come to the boat, the bigger ones, and then they'll fire up at the last minute. Oh, he's all right. This is just one of the Shimano X Pride 6 to 12 pound rods, 3000 Vanford, and this is my heavy flathead threadline outfit, but it's perfect for doing this stuff too. Come on, mate. Come around here. Come on. Oh, he's got that lure caught in his shoulder, that's why he's carrying on a bit. All right, I'm just going to lift him in and he's going to go mental, but that's a nice estuary Tailor. I'll get the towel, and obviously you just need to watch the hooks. Hook out gun. Pop that out. They've got really leathery sort of skin, really fine scales on him. And that, he's just smashed that little flash boost. They're a cool lure. See how that flickering metallic piece in it? It's on 2 springs and it just flutters inside the lure every time that lure kicks and twitches. Flip him around. There you go. That is a beautiful estuary Tailor. Just such a good looking fish. Big, powerful V-shaped tail. They've got a lot of speed about them. And these guys hunt in big schools. And let me tell you, if you're a bait fish and these guys came up, you would not be very happy at all. Let's get another one. It's important too when you're doing this that you're constantly watching your rod tips. I can see that one's vibrating very quick. That's that little X-Wrap just wriggling along through the water. This one's got a slightly wider wobble as that shallow running jerkbait just wriggles through the water. The second they stop wriggling, they've got weed or something like that on them. So it's important you know what it looks like when that lure is swimming well. As soon as it's not, wind it in, get it off, get that lure back in. Got all these Tailor busting up there where there's some birds, and I was trying to wind this lure in to get up on them and hooked up. Oh, I think, is that one on there? Yeah, there's one on there too. Tailor are a schooling fish, and we have a double. Multitasking at its best. Put that in there for now. All right, so much fun. And this is the stuff that anybody can do. In any estuary system, you can troll on the coastline. They love headlands, they love the surf beaches. They're such a popular surf species, especially places like Fraser Island up in Queensland, you know, throwing pillies on the surf and lures on the surf. Guys go there on their masses to do it every year. In WA, they get the true giants. And one fish I desperately do want to catch is a really big Tailor, so I reckon I'm going to have to get myself over to somewhere like Shark Bay or those places, Carnarvon and that in WA, to chase them. But for now, we're dealing with these guys. Yeah, same size fish as the others. There we go. Look at that. It indicates how they feed. That one's hooked in the same spot as the last one, with that hook in the side there. And with the Tailor, you pretty well can take that front treble off because they're a tail biter, as the name says. I'm just going to quickly drop him off like that, and we'll sort this one out. There we go. And I reckon this is a pretty good way to finish off a bit of an afternoon trolling session. Nice little fish. As I said, they're good eating when they're fresh, but they do not freeze well, so they're definitely one of those fish that you don't need to keep too many of. Bit of estuary trolling Tailor fun. Light tackle, diving lures like that will definitely help you find a couple of the better sized fish. Pop him back. Sun's getting low. Pub dinner is calling. We're out of here.